A major Iowa meatpacking plant is facing legal action over alleged repeated water pollution as the Iowa DNR is accused of not carrying out enforcement. Iowa's News Now investigative reporter Nick Elhaj explains.
Banks of the Yellow River in Postville, Iowa, where the Agri meat and poultry facility is at the center of a legal dispute. The Driftless Water Defenders, a local advocacy group, are accusing the plant of violating the Clean Water Act by polluting Hecker Creek and the Yellow River, key waterways here in the Driftless area of northeast Iowa. The Yellow River flows through some of Iowa's most biologically significant terrain. However,
the discharge from Agri has been monitored to show exceedances for biological oxygen demand and chloride and ammonia, and so these threaten the biological integrity of the Yellow River.
The group has filed a 60-day notice of violations and intend to sue, outlining years of alleged pollution and repeated violations of permit limits set under federal and state regulations, based on Agristar's own self-reported data, pointing especially to a case in September 2024, when ammonia nitrogen discharges reached 1,149 pounds per day, more than 10 times the facility's permit limit of 97 pounds per day. Also that month, total suspended solids measured 19,165 pounds per day, 65 times the 293-pound daily maximum set by the permit.
Our notice describes two complaints that we think are extremely serious. One, repeated exceedances, that is to say, more pollutants discharged into the water that is allowed by the permit. But almost as disturbing, I think, is that they describe many instances in which they're not even doing the testing.
Under the Clean Water Act, facilities with a National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit must self-report monthly discharge levels. Iowa DNR enforces those standards at the state level, and the EPA oversees broader compliance. But the Driftless Water Defenders says enforcement overall has been lax, pointing out the DNR's lack of enforcement, even though Agristar has been involved in 5 EPA enforcement actions in the past 2 decades.
We can no longer have lax enforcement of existing laws. We're asking them simply to obey the permits that were issued to them under existing federal law. And we're saying we're going to step in if government agencies continue to fail to enforce the minimum requirements of the permits.
So many times they seem willing to just rubber stamp what's happening with agriculture here in Iowa. The agency has been very much willing to turn a blind eye to this pollution. Their approach here has not been to act like enforcers, but rather enablers. That's something that we take issue with and we think needs to change.
Iowa DNR, however, says it has taken action against Agristar.
It's not like this has been something that has been unnoticed and we have not been doing anything about it. We've been definitely working with the company to try to address these issues. We know we certainly want to give them a chance to correct that issue, and when they continue to struggle and they start hitting our enforcement criteria, then we execute those, and that's what we've done in this case.
If state regulators fail to act, the Driftless Water Defender says it plans to file a federal lawsuit.
The Clean Water Act does provide citizens like Driftless Water Defenders an avenue for addressing that government under enforcement and protecting their right to clean waterways. Once 60 days have elapsed, absent meaningful action by the state of Iowa, we will go ahead and proceed with a complaint in federal court.
Those 60 days elapsed on February 21st. Agristar could not be reached for comment despite multiple attempts. In Postville, Nick Elhaj, Iowa's News Now.